Hi guys, so it's time for the June Scrawlr box, and yeah, I'll just show you what I got in this box. So first of all, we have this very beautiful piece of art from an artist called Benjamin Davis. And then we have well, of course, some supplies, which seem to be very focused on Chameleon pens. And we do have, first of all, a fine liner, as per usual. This is a Chameleon detail pen, which has two different nibs, or two nibs with different thickness. So this is a 0.6, and then we have a 0.4, and it's black. Let me just get this. Oh, they're the same. And then we have the Chameleon color tone pens, which I'm quite excited about because I haven't tried them yet, and I've seen a lot of different YouTubers using them, and thought they looked very neat, with the ability to do color gradients with one pen. So yeah, excited to do that, and there's actually quite a few. We have 4 different colors here, so a burgundy, a sand colored, a black, and a vermilion colored one. And then there's actually some additional Chameleon stuff here, which is Chameleon color tops, which I hadn't heard of. Which are tops. Yeah, I used some time kind of getting into how to use these, but this is yeah, let me just read what they said. So the color tops work with the color tone markers to create simple, seamless color to color blends. They work in the same way the mixing chambers do on the markers, but instead add a second color to your blend. So you use them to blend the other colors. So you can use the light gray, for example, with the black, and then you get a color in between these two. So that's kind of how it works in theory, at least, and then I'll show you in practice how to use it. So, but quite a few things in the Chameleon variety, as you can see here, and that's actually it. It did include one thing more, which was a piece of white acid-free paper, 180 grams, which I'm not going to show you because I already did my piece on that, so you'll see it afterwards. And I can't find the piece. There's usually always 2 pieces of paper, and I can't find the one where I actually tested the markers. So yeah, and oh, and one thing about the Chameleon markers is which I like, is that it has a brush nib. So it looks like this. And then it also has a bullet nib. Yeah. So most importantly, the challenge itself is maximum carnage. Yeah. So let me show you what I did. So as always, I have something to say about these products. And First of all, I like that we got so many colors to play with this month. And I think the ink in these alcohol markers have a very nice quality. I think the colors seem to blend quite well. And the fact that the marker has two different nibs, the bold nib and the brush nib, adds more variety. That's something I'm missing with Copic markers, which I usually use and prefer. Of course, they have two different nibs, but one is a chisel nib, and I do wish that that was a bullet nib in addition to the brush nib. So that's 1-0 for the Chameleon marker. I like that. I really like the concept with these markers, that with one marker you get the whole range of a color from light to dark of this same color, where with other markers such as Copics you would have to buy at least 3, but I would say more like 5 gradients of the same colors to get, you know, that range that you get with one Chameleon marker, to get a nice and smooth transition from light to dark. So I really like that about this marker. That being said, I think it is a bit, and maybe that's just because I'm slow or really not used to this kind of marker, but I think it is a bit complicated to use. I had to look up on YouTube how to use it, and then I didn't use it for a while. I had it lying around before I did this piece, and then I had to check again because I couldn't remember it, and it doesn't seem to be intuitive how to use them, I don't think. And first up, I actually thought that the color tops were so that you could change the color of that marker, which each marker contains a color and a blending chamber with ink that dilutes the color. So I thought you could put that color, other separate color on instead of the color top, and then use that. So you just need one pen basically with that mixing chamber, and then you could change the top, but that's not how it works. You blend the two colors, so you don't really have the color of that new separate top unless you have a very light color to mix it with. So that was a bit disappointing, I think, but again, you can make some new colors using them. So for me, it was quite frustrating that you can't control when the color changes. So as you can hopefully see here in the video, how it works is, as I mentioned, you dilute your color and by using this alcohol blending thing, dilution chamber, and the longer you hold it, or let them mix, the lighter the color will be. And then of course, as when you use it, it slowly gets darker and darker as you use the diluted color up, and you can't really control when it gets darker. So when it kind of begins to get darker, you have to blend with that ink chamber again to get that color, and it's difficult, very difficult to kind of hit the same tone as what you were using. So I think it's not working that well when you have larger areas to color. I had a lot of problems with the face, the skin, the coloring of the skin in this piece I'm doing here, and didn't manage to get an even distribution of the color of the forehead, which is the largest, single area of this drawing. I think it's nice that this bullet nib is on, as I mentioned, and it's very small, so it's very good for details. And of course, I love that it has a brush pen, which is my preferred, or brush nib, which is my preferred nib, but it is quite stiff, so I don't think, it doesn't really feel like a brush nib to me, but it's brush nib-like. And then a small, very small thing, which doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the markers, and it's probably mostly a personal preference, but I don't like that the barrel of the marker is round, because it keeps rolling off the table or onto my drawing. So that's just a small thing. But summing up, I think that this type of marker is really great if you want to see if alcohol markers is something for you, but you don't want to spend a lot of money buying, a lot of markers you're not going to use again. And here you get a marker which has a high quality of ink, and with one set of primary colors, it's really what you need to get a different range. And you can buy the separate color tubs, which cost less than the pens themselves, and then you can mix newer colors as well to supplement. And I actually looked up what the price was for these markers on Amazon, the UK Amazon, and a set of 5 primary or 5 pen primary set costs about 20 Great Britain pounds, and you get, well, of course, red, blue and yellow, and then you also get a green and a black one. So I think that's quite affordable compared to Coprix, for instance. And you can also get a set of 5 different skin tones, for instance. And I checked with the color tubs, and a 5 pen set of color tubs range from about 12 to 16 pounds. So I do think that, it's a very nice way to move into the field of alcohol markers, and then you can always change to a different one. But as everything, I think it's probably more about getting practice, and then with these, and then they're probably quite easier to use than just testing them out as I did here. So yeah, but I'll write the product names of these supplies down in the description, and I hope you like the piece I did with them and the challenge. By the way, my challenge to myself was to use all of the different colors in the box, and I'm very happy to say that I actually managed doing that, because that was also quite a challenge. So yeah, yes, that's it for now. So yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Bye.